It is such a pleasure to host you yet again. And I can't wait to have our conversation for today. How have you been? How has the past week been? How has the weekend been? I do trust that you are good. I do trust that you are geared up for the week and, pushing, your vision, your goals, your plan for the week. Have you put your plan together? In our previous episode, we were talking about vision boards. So my question to you is, if you had not put together a vision board, did you put together a vision board? I want to say congratulations to those that sent me DMs and said, thank you so much. I was actually in the process of putting together a vision board, and you fueled me to complete it and not procrastinate my completing process. So kudos to all of you that did put together vision boards, and to those that are in the process of putting together your vision boards. As a man thinketh, so is he. As you visualize, you attract the things that you desire to you. The law of attraction can never be downplayed. So what are we talking about today? We are still in the beginning of the year, so it's important to set the right tone for yourself as you journey through the year. So I want to talk about SMART goals. I know many of us, have heard that topic discussed from different angles. In the organization, we want to push our goals. They must be SMART. In your personal space, in church, as a family, so many different places where you have encountered that conversation of SMART goals. So I'm going to delve into that today, and I trust that I'll be able to ignite a fire in that person that has given up on putting together goals, or that person who feels like, you know what, that conversation is just not for me. It's important to always have a goal, because what you cannot measure, you will not know if you have actually achieved. You will not know if you have actually reached the destination, because you don't know where you're going. So the goals are the guiding, mark to say we are on track and this is where we are going. So one key thing to always remember is you need to always align your goals to your purpose. It's so important to say, what is my purpose? Let me align my goals to my purpose, because some people set their goals, because of pressure. Some people set their goals because of what's trending. Some people set goals because of maybe family pressure or spousal pressure, peer pressure, different types of pressures. And it's not really what you really want. It doesn't resonate, it's not your heartbeat. It doesn't resonate with your purpose. So what is also key is to actually know your purpose. What is your purpose? It's important to know your purpose. So as you are embarking on that goal setting journey, the first step is to know your purpose and define it. You know it, define it. What is your purpose? Because your goals and your purpose, you can never separate the two. Purpose, it's simply defined as, I define it as your reason for existence. What is your reason for existence? We all have a reason for existence. Why God put us on this earth, why you are in that family, why you are in that place of influence that you have been put in. There is a purpose. What is that purpose that you have? That is what fuels the goals that you then begin to craft and put together to say, my goals are extremely SMART. My goals are really just, giving me that kick on the inside. My goals, they give me that push each and every day. When I get up, I am fueled to face my day despite, whatever negativity may be happening, around me. So in our previous conversation, we really took the steps to say, your vision board. What are the things to include in your vision board? How do you actually make the most of a vision board? So let's marry that now. You have a vision board. You want to have goals. You want to get to a desired end. What is that desired end for you? For some, you may be wanting to just work on short-term goals. For some, it's long-term goals. It's really up to you how you want to plan. But what is important is to have it all down. So this is what I'm just here to just unpack: the SMART goals. There is no success that cannot be measured if you don't have the actual journey. You need to have a journey to say step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, for you to be able to measure the success adequately. If it's all in there, I promise you, you will slip up. You will definitely slip up. So where do you start? How will you get, to the end? That is the process: goals, vision, your success journey. It starts somewhere. Yes, it starts with an idea. For some, it starts with maybe just that job that you stepped into. So you need to then have a clear map of the final destination. What does the success look like? What does the goal achieved look like? So I want to break down, creating SMART goals. Some people look at it differently in terms of, how they choose to create SMART goals. But I want to really, really, really simplify it, just breaking down our S, our M, our A, our R, our T. And, there's no better way than doing this, but repeatedly. It's important, to know that our wins in life do not appear magically. I know it's not the first time you've heard about SMART goals and, the topic being explored, but they say repetition has power. There's so much power in repetition. The power of repetition is amazing. Let's talk about the power of repetition rule. The power of repetition rule essentially states that the more often a concept, idea, or message is repeated, the more likely it is to be remembered and ingrained on the inside, in someone's mind, in your imagination, in your subconscious, making it a powerful tool for learning, persuading, and building familiarity with information or skills. Essentially, practice makes perfect. So it's all through repeated exposure. Yeah? The power of repetition rule. I will repeat that rule. Essentially, it states that the more often a concept, idea, or message is repeated, the more likely it is to be remembered and ingrained in someone's mind, ingrained in your subconscious, ingrained in your conscious mind, making it a powerful tool for learning, persuading, and building familiarity with information or skills. So essentially, we are saying practice makes perfect. So this is all through repeated exposure. So I am saying this to say you have heard about SMART goals. We are bringing the repetition so that it can be ingrained in your subconscious mind. Okay, so let's look at our SMART goals. Let's break down our word SMART. S, the goal must be specific. The goal must be clear and state what needs to be done and who is responsible. So, for example, I want it to be clear, right? So, I want to increase my running endurance. I'm being as specific as possible. I want to increase my running endurance by completing a 10-kilometer race. Ish. Just saying it out, I'm thinking, whoa, can I possibly do that, as Rulo? But please take note, this is just an example of something specific. So you're giving in the detail, the quantity. If you're quantifying, how many, 10 kilometers. Be specific, a 10-kilometer race. So you don't want to just say, I want to increase my endurance, because you cannot measure if you're just saying, look, I want to increase my endurance. You want to have it written down. I want to increase my endurance, by completing a 10-kilometer race. Okay, so as I'm journeying, in what time frame, how long, do I want to say, by this time I am able to do this? So you then set yourself, am I wanting to do it in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months? You have to be as specific as possible. Break it down such that when you are ticking off something that actually has been achieved, and not just to say, look, yeah, I did run. I did run. And maybe you've just maintained what you've just been doing, 1 kilometer for the past year, and you're continuing to 2025, and you're just saying, look, my endurance has increased. But when you actually look at your smartwatch or your Samsung Health or whatever app you use, you're realizing, okay, you know what? In actual fact, I've just been consistent, but I have not actually increased my endurance. So be specific. Number 2, it must be measurable. You must be able to measure how long, how far. Be able to measure. So the goal includes a way to measure progress so that you're able to track that progress. Am I winning? Am I needing to go back to the drawing board? Am I needing to take a step back? Am I needing to, accelerate? You're able to measure and know when you have achieved that goal. Because if you cannot measure it, you won't know when you've actually achieved the goal. So I want to increase my running endurance, by completing that 10-kilometer race. Okay, so how will I measure? How much further do I want to measure this? I want to maybe say, let's say I want to do it under 60 minutes. I want to do it under an hour in the next 3 months. So I will be able to measure. I will have my time tracker on to say, I said 60 minutes. So I'll be able to measure as I'm running. My timer is moving. So when I'm done in the 60 minutes, have I done 10 Ks? Or maybe the 60 minutes, I've only done 5 Ks. You are able to measure. So if you've set that 3 months, you've hit the 3 month mark, and you realize, look, I actually didn't manage to achieve my 10 kilometers. It's not a train smash, because you're on a journey. You retrace your tracks and revisit to say, okay, how much further can I, make this smarter for this to be achievable? Okay, so weekly, I actually need to add in an extra hour for my from my usual exercise routine. You're working, crafting, having a conversation with yourself. And then the third one, our A, is it achievable? You need to look at your goal. Is it achievable? The goal, is it a realistic goal? And is it within your reach? Can it be done? Ask yourself those questions. Can it be done? If the answer is no, revisit. It doesn't have to be in there because it's like the fashionable thing to have that kind of a goal. Ask yourself a question. Are you a runner? in that space where you're saying, look, I want to achieve this 10 kilometers in the 3 months. If you're not a runner, so what is it that I then need to do to incorporate in my routine to become the runner so I can achieve that goal? Have you been doing any movement at all? These are questions that they may sound very silly, but it's important to have yourself answerable to yourself, because you want to be able to achieve something. So ask yourself the right questions for you to be able to reach your desired goal. Is it relevant? Is it relevant? Does the, goal may seem, to be beautiful, on paper, but is it relevant? Does it make sense? Does it fit your overall objectives as an individual? For example, you're a sales manager. You put down, a goal to say, I want to increase the sales revenue for the new line, say by 9% in the next quarter. So is this goal relevant for you as a sales manager? So that's the question you ask yourself. Looking to boost, your company revenue. So that 9%, is feeding into the overall picture. So it wouldn't make sense to talk about uh, certain goals that don't fit into that aspect of your position as a sales manager, because you are about boosting the company's revenue. For example, maybe if you say, I want to increase the number of social media followers for my, sales team. Yes, it's something that long term somehow, if you make it smarter, can fit in, but is not relevant for you in this right space. Because while social media presence can be beneficial, yes, but simply growing follower count without a clear connection to sales leads or conversations, it's not a relevant goal. So it's important to understand the relevance of that goal that you would have put down. And then finally, time bound. It's important to always have a time frame for your goals, because you will just, give yourself excuses and slither into 2026, into 2027, and you continue to have that same goal to say, yeah, to run my 10Ks, my 10Ks, my 10Ks, and it's becoming lengthy unnecessarily because you haven't put a time frame to yourself, to really be accountable to yourself. It's so important to actually be accountable to yourself. So you have to set deadlines for that goal, realistic deadlines, not unachievable deadlines, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to tick off and say it has been done. So we go back to the runner, right? The questions to answer included, can it be done, right? Because it's great to have fantastic dreams, but you must be in the right mind frame, as well as having the ability to actually achieve it. So in this case, the physical aspect, does it align? Have you been that person who has movement, in their day-to-day routine? So it has to be, time bound, realistic. You've put your time frame to say, in the next 3 months, I want to be able to do the 10 kilometers, and I want to do it, within 60 minutes. So the time frame is very important, because there are certain things that will miss a season because you have not put the time frame to it. So they lose the relevance. Yes, you've got that list, but it must be relevant for the season, for the time that you're in, because certain things, certain goals need certain seasons, looking at even just the external season. Is it a something that, maybe you're a farmer in winter, what crops are you planting? So if your goal is not time bound, you may miss the season because you are just not, in the smart space. So it's important to have smart goals, because that is the fuel to your journey for success. That is the fuel to your journey of building confidence in self. When you're ticking to say, this goal is done, this goal is done, you are building confidence in yourself. And it's important, I always say, having confidence in self, because you give who you are. If you do not believe in yourself, you cannot expect the next person to have and see the value that you personally do not see in yourself. So goals, goals, goals. Are we ready to set smart goals? If you have not already set your goals, please do share. I am really enjoying those that are coming to my DM with their feedback, and I'm looking forward to your feedback, in terms of your goals. Maybe you need to redefine, maybe you need to refine, maybe you need to relook what you had put together, maybe the first week of the year or end of last year, to say, this is my 2025, to go and revisit how smart are my goals. Please do take time to do that, because it's so important, because you are the driver of your success. So please do follow me on Facebook, Rudo Nyamoto. Follow me on TikTok, Rudo Nyamoto. Follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn. If you search Rudo Nyamoto, you will find me. It's been such a pleasure. Take care of yourself, and remember, you matter. Keep loving on yourself. Jibe. Bye for now.